Hey there, it's Lacy J here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, the latter of which we'll reply to on our newly revamped weekly pre-shows, where we have as many fun segments as we do on the audio pod. There are current events with Christy, corrections and observations with Ben, and as always, questions with Derek. Plus, I have new fun facts and tell a terrible fucking joke every single week. Please join us, and please consider rating and reviewing us on your favorite app or recommending us to a friend who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s. It is season 3, episode 17. It's called Catch-22. It's a Desmond episode, and it's a me episode. But first, how's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Doing well.
I'm okay. The fact that this is episode 17 and it's called Catch-22 is fucking with me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that doing well that Derek tossed in is because I said we were doing good before we started, and I got corrected because that's poor grammar.
Well,
doing
one could say we are doing good by putting quality entertainment out there to the rest of the world. I think we are doing
fuck's
good.
Sake.
I had somebody say one time, oh, well, when you say you're doing good, I feel like asking you, what are you, a fucking superhero? You know?
Whoa.
Oh, like doing
Maybe
good
I
for the
fucking
world.
am.
Yes, like doing
same
good,
world.
exactly.
Yeah.
How about that? How about yes, I am? How about that?
Well, good.
Ben.
Well, good.
Okay.
No.
What the fuck were the power rankings after episode 16?
I'll tell you if you ask me nicely.
What, please, were the fucking power rankings
See, manners don't hurt.
after episode 16?
Yeah. Sawyer and his prison hair, that gets you, you ladies all wet.
Whoop, whoop.
99 points in the lead. Behind him, we've got the mayor of Islandtown, Hurley, with 91 points. And
That's amazing.
Nipping at his rotund heels, Juliet, with 89 points.
How at the bottom?
You want to hear the bottom two? Oh, it's.
Oh,
okay.
did you want me to
Danny
say something
Palanicki.
after that? Wait,
No,
I can. Whoa! Juliet has 89 points. This race is close, bitch. Whoop! There we go.
True
How
that,
do you like
yeah.
that? Okay. And in the bottom, we are
Okay.
off.
Danny Palanicki. There we go. There's 3 times. Danny Palanicki.
3.
I realize saying it every time, hey, the bottom hasn't changed. It's not very exciting. So I figured I'm going to have to change the way that I say it
Cool.
to make it a little
Do
more
it.
entertaining. All right.
That works.
All right.
So, yeah.
Was that it then?
Yeah, we don't have a
What
middle
about the
third.
middle?
We did the
Yeah.
top third, we did the bottom third. So yes, that's
Everybody
quite
else
it.
is in the middle.
Like, you're not seeing this, guys, but everyone's like, Lacy's just like looking. We can see each other when we're doing this, and she's just like looking through the video, and I'm like, I can tell she's waiting for me to say something, but I don't really have anything to say.
Right. So how about the episode?
Yeah, what about episode 22? Oh, I mean,
Wait,
sorry.
17.
Episode 17, Catch-22.
See?
Yeah.
Told you, it's fucked my brain up.
Booth.
Oh, this is all going so well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we continue?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Catch-22. The episode opens with Desmond leading Charlie, Hurley, and Jen through a rainy jungle. Charlie
Quest.
and Hurley are arguing about Superman. Charlie says he can fly around the planet in the blink of an eye, and Hurley says that Superman can't beat the Flash in a foot race. Charlie's like, why would the Man of Steel agree to a sodding foot race? So Hurley makes up that it's for charity, which I guess means it has to be a foot race. I don't know what that means. And so Superman would do it, and then he would lose. And he says something about how Superman isn't allowed to smash any walls on the race. And so Charlie's like, no flying, no smashing. Any other restrictions?
He says the Flash can phase through walls, And Charlie starts to laugh. He's like, "Oh, what would Superman do if he ran into a wall? Oh no!"
You just
Like,
run right through it.
That's why I said, "Oh yeah, you can't.
And he can
you
make
can't
the
break the
plane go
walls
backwards too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
making up
it's
all
like-
kinds of rules to keep Superman down.
Yes, that's basically what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
So Charlie says, no flying, no smashing. Any other restrictions I need to know about? Perhaps we should fit Superman with a pair of kryptonite. And then he steps on a wire. He lifts his foot from it, and a crossbow in a tree fires an arrow straight through his fucking neck.
What
mightiest
the
man
hell?
may be slain by one arrow. Charlie was pierced by many.
But it just happened to be the right height for a hobbit too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Get him in the
that's
neck.
true. It
I know.
Well, I guess maybe it was meant for her heart.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, anyways, there's everybody's kind of like screaming. Desmond tells them not to touch it.
I
He's
love
telling
that you wrote Hurley screams in English and Jen screams in Korean.
Yes. How do you scream in Korean?
Ah,
Aha!
because like they both said words, and I guess
Yeah.
I just didn't write down what the words were. It's not like the ahs in a language. Oh my god.
Of course, when you're out there, if you step on a wire, you're supposed to lift your foot up. That's a smart thing to do.
Well, yeah. I
I
mean,
also love
there's
it's like a wire that goes across like several feet. Yet that thing was like he stepped on just the right part of it where that arrow went directly into his neck.
That's right.
Like I wonder if Russo's got like she's building like aiming things as well. Like she's got like squirrels there aiming the fucking crossbow at people when they come
She's
through.
been there for a long time with not much to do other than survive.
I'm so
So-
clumsy that I wouldn't step on the wire. I would
trip
end
over
up
it.
tripping over the
Oh, yeah.
wire, and then I'd be on the ground when the arrow went past.
Yeah,
So you'd
you
be
would be
safe.
because it's
Yeah.
a slow ass trap, which we find out later.
Yep.
That's true. I would survive that too, because I would also trip over it and be flat on my face when the arrow came by.
Yeah. I might, have some bruises or something, but
Mhm.
Better than
Take
an
that,
arrow in the
Danielle.
neck.
yes,
True.
I'd be okay.
So Desmond is telling Charlie to just breathe while Charlie is basically choking.
Did
on
you not see the
blood
shaft
and
of wood through my esophagus, you fuckhead? How am I going to breathe?
Hurley's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And Jin wants Desmond to get help, but Desmond knows, like, there isn't any. He looks at Charlie and he says, I'm sorry, mate. Charlie dies, and then images flash before Desmond's eyes. Hurley is pulling a cable up from the sand. Red light is in the sky at nighttime. See the picture of Desmond and Penny on the pier. Charlie says Superman can fly around the entire planet. And then there's this image of Penny, like, looking at Desmond. We're now on the beach. Desmond opens his eyes on the morning of day 84 for the originals, not for Desmond. He's squatting on a rock at the water's edge with fishing equipment in his
Squatty potty.
hands. What?
Squatty potty.
Squatty potty. Squatting.
Yeah,
when you
they're
said
good.
he's squatting by that, I just went,
Yep.
that started him and he said squatty potty. So
Get a squatty potty. Makes good poops. It's true.
Maybe that
it does.
should be in fun facts at the end or something.
I can jot it down. We can talk about it in a pre-show.
Yeah.
There we go.
See if we can get some squatty potty advertising dollars going on here.
I seriously fucking doubt it. Desmond is squatty pottying on a rock at the water's edge with fishing equipment in his hands, and the entire event has been some sort of flash or vision. Desmond looks at Charlie down the beach for a moment and then runs to Hurley and asks him where the wire is. Hurley says, "Do you eat those mushrooms Jack warned us about?" Warned? I mean, I'd be harvesting that shit.
Hell
What
yeah.
else do we have to do? Yeah. So Desmond is very serious, and he says he needs to find the cable buried in the sand. Hurley says, "This is future crap, isn't it?" He's like, not happy. So Desmond persists in asking if he knows where the cable is. And before telling him, Hurley wants to know why. So Desmond sees a flash of a red light in the dark sky, feet hanging from the trees, a group holding a tarp. There's a flash
tarp.
there's a flash of Charlie saying, "Superman can," before another of the photo of Penny and Desmond. Desmond snaps back to reality, looks at Hurley and says, "Because someone's coming." Oh, fuck.
What?
Lost title screen. Flashback number 1. Desmond is in a monastery reading from the Bible. He puts down the book. Puts down a book as a monk enters and hands Desmond some clothes. The monk said, God tests our faith in many ways. So as you well know, we have our own test here. A vow of silence that lasts as long as we see fit. This challenges both one's patience and his faith. For some, it may last a week. Those we are less sure about, a month. Personally, Desmond, I never thought you'd last. So now I stand corrected. For whatever reason, your path has led you here, and now you're one of us. Welcome, brother. Desmond replies, thank you, brother.
Thank you,
And
brother.
they smile at each other.
So monks can talk.
I feel like it would be awesome to not have to talk to anybody for a month. Like just to not even have to say anything. I actually think that would be kind of relaxing.
That'd be hard for
Kind of
me.
did that when COVID started because I was at home.
That's true. Yeah, I guess we
Except
kind of
for
all had
work,
that
yeah.
experience a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I text? I mean,
I don't care. I'm not asking you to do this. I'm just saying for me, you make up your own rules.
well, I was saying, I mean, if I ran I wouldn't mind the not speaking, but I would mind not like communicating.
You still want to communicate.
The texting would be nice, but not having to like actually see anyone, that sounds fucking great.
I can imagine I'm downstairs or something and I pick up my phone and it just says grilled cheese ?
That happens all the time.
You should
Yeah.
With
respond.
toothpicks.
Do I get toothpicks?
Yes, toothpicks.
Oh no, that's not me asking him if he wants one. That's me asking him to make me one.
Yeah.
That's what
I'll
that
make
is.
that after this, actually.
Ben is like really good at making me grilled cheese. It's the best.
Thanks.
Back at Original Beach, Desmond and Hurley make their way to Jack's like living area. They exchange pleasantries about
His
Jack being
lean-on.
home.
Lean-to.
Lean-to. Is that what it is?
Lean on.
Lean on.
Whatever. Whatever. Sorry.
Wow, is that what you said? Is lean on?
Yeah, lean on.
Lean
Yeah.
on. I was like, nope.
Okay. Wow. I don't know why it's making me laugh.
Because you're stoned.
Because you're smoking.
Oh, okay, that could be. All right. So Desmond asks Jack for a first aid kit, and he lies and says that he twisted his ankle. Jack offers to look at it, but Desmond said like he's taped plenty.
This
And
is
so
dumb,
Jack-
though.
Why give him the whole kit?
Well, A, yeah, why give him the whole kit? And B, Desmond just walked right up to him with no fucking limp or anything
Yeah.
like that. And he walks away with no limp.
Right.
That is actually true.
I think Jack's onto him. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Just bring it back when you're done.
I guess
Because it's going to help with an arrow through a neck.
Yeah. I'm just going to assume that Jack has more than one kit at this point.
Maybe.
You have to, right? Because he wouldn't just
Yeah.
give him his whole kit for him to go off on a fucking day trip
Right.
and
never
be
see
the
it
only
again.
doctor, or who's not a researcher, I guess. The only doctor who can do anything if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that was not the case. But yeah, I can
But
see
Jack
there.
hasn't been making the best decisions lately. So
Yeah.
That's true. It could easily be more than one, though, considering like
I'd think
I'm
so.
sure that all the hatches have them in there. So.
and the hatches
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So when Jack like hands the kit over, he is kind of looking at Hurley sideways, and Hurley is looking a bit despondent. So Jack asks if there's something wrong. Hurley awkwardly says, nah, just keeping Desmond here company because we're friends.
Terrible liar. Terrible liar.
So Jack tells Desmond to bring the kit back when he's done, and they leave. And a little bit away, Desmond expresses annoyance at Hurley, claiming like he's going to make Jack suspicious. 'Cause
Yeah, he's
so
like, what was
fucking-
that?
Yeah, basically. What the hell? And Hurley replies, suspicious of what? Oh, this is like when you knew Claire was drowning, isn't it? That's why you got the first aid kit. Someone's going to get hurt. Is it me? Desmond says it's just a precaution. Hurley is not having it, says he wants to get to the cable. Desmond is going to have to provide an explanation. So Desmond tells him he saw a sequence of events and things are going to happen. He says it it was like a sort of jigsaw puzzle, only I didn't have the picture in the box. So I don't know how the pieces fit exactly, but one of the pieces, the first one, Desmond sees an image of Hurley picking up the cable in the sand, and tells him what he saw. That's the sign he's following right now. And so Hurley wonders, well, what are the other pieces? And Desmond's like, he can't tell him. If he tells him, it could change the picture in the box.
That he can't see.
What was that?
That he can't see.
Right.
He said he can't see the picture. But anyways.
Right, exactly. And this is, we'll talk more about this later, but this is his Catch-22, right? Like he has the pieces, but if he shares them with anyone, it could change like what the actual puzzle is. Okay. So Hurley, like for a second, he considers like that would be the point, right? Don't you want it to change? And then he realizes, oh, fuck. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is something like Desmond isn't trying to stop something. He's trying to make it happen. And so he asks him, do you want this to happen? Desmond sees a flash of himself and Penny like posing on the pier for the photo. Then there's one where he's wiping a tear from her face in the stadium parking lot after or before meeting Jack. I don't remember. And then he's kissing her and they're like red ceilings flat. And it comes back to the present. And Desmond says, more than anything.
Yep.
Oh my God. Penny's coming. So a little further down the beach, Sawyer is standing outside Kate's tent. And he said, hey, Freckles, you home? And she answers from inside to say that he isn't supposed to use nicknames. And he finds a loophole. And that since she wasn't there when that was imposed, it does not apply to her. And then he just walks on in while she is half naked.
Fucking asshole.
The pause button was used.
Oh my God, Derek. You're ridiculous. So he openly like ogles her and she asks him what he wants and also throws in a I'm up here. And he's staring at her boobs, of course. I was too, obviously. But yeah, you don't walk in on people. I think there's arguments made that that was an accident. He didn't realize what he was doing.
He didn't know she was changing.
No, but still.
He could have turned around.
If you're not invited in, don't fucking come in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the optimist here. I'm just going to say it made for good TV either way.
It did.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously, Evangeline Lilly consented to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sawyer asks Kate, like, if she told Jack about them, basically, and she tells him the truth, that he found out because he saw them on a monitor. And he said that Kate told him the camera was broken, and she's like, well, they had another. And Sawyer mumbles, perverts, which I find hilarious. Yeah. So he changes gears and asks Kate for some afternoon delight.
Hell yeah.
Is he actually suggesting that he sodomize her in the tents? In their tent?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I was going to bring it up in a second. So let's hang on. So Kate's like underwhelmed by the offer. And then he tries to explain it means sex. And that's when I'm like, it means some really specific sex, Sawyer.
Yeah.
So
what, Afternoon Delight does?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it means butt fucking.
I did not know that.
All the amount of porn that I've consumed, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah. Wow. Weren't we educating about Scissor Sisters? Like, was that last episode? Though it's 2 weeks ago. And now Afternoon Delight. Okay. I hope we don't have to have a correction that we're wrong about that.
I'm seeing the porn right now. It would be called Intense Cornholing Intense.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
With
There's
Kate.
a song called Afternoon Delight, too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're singing about butt sex.
It's in flight. Afternoon Delight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great in Anchorman.
It's great in Arrested Development, too.
They play that, and it's a hilarious scene. Anywho's.
Well, that makes so much sense now. No, there's a scene in Schitt's Creek where Johnny walks into the room and David and Jake just got finished, and he's like, "Oh, a little afternoon delight." And okay,
there you go.
I got it.
That'd be in the butt, Bob.
Oh my God.
That'd be in the butt, Bob.
Oh, all right.
Oh God! All right. Back in the tent, Kate is annoyed. She pushes her way out, and Sawyer's like, come on, Freckles, you need me to make you a mixtape? Which I thought was cute. She says, yeah, why don't you do that? And then walks away. So Desmond and Hurley standing together watching Jin prepare fish. Hurley wants to know why they need him, and Desmond replies, because he was there with us. So, like, he doesn't know. All he knows is he's trying to recreate whatever he saw, right? So
Can't change it.
Yeah. So there's a flash of Hurley pulling on the cable, and then now you can see that Jin is also there. Hurley gets it, and he says, okay, so if he doesn't come, then neither does the someone you won't tell me anything about. And Desmond confirms, yes, that is how this works. Then he worries about how he'll get Jin to go with him, and Hurley takes over, convinces Jin to go camping somehow, which is like, isn't that how they're living?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
Like,
I'm going to go
camping?
away from where I have all of our supplies.
They won't be in their lean-to.
I do like that they just made Jin so fucking agreeable, though.
Yeah, he's
He's
like,
like,
yeah.
Camping. He's just like, okay,
Marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jin's always up
Camping.
for an adventure or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and Hurley's like, well, everybody loves marshmallows, you know.
Yep.
Which is also true.
I wonder, did they get marshmallows in the pallet?
That's what I was wondering is,
Had to
they
be.
have a supply of
think.
them, I assume.
Yeah.
I can't even remember seeing them with mushrooms later. Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
The mushrooms were earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I
Seriously.
can't remember seeing them later with marshmallows now. I don't even recall
No.
if they... You don't see them, like they're not around a fire.
Not
or
around a
anything?
campfire.
No, they don't get to make s'mores.
No. Paolo
Oh,
probably
that's
lost them
bullshit.
somewhere. Put them behind the Chex Mix or whatever else they've got there.
Chex Mix. The Dharma Mix is what it would
Dharma
be.
Mix, yeah. Darmix. There you go.
Darmix.
All right. So Desmond tells Jin to go get food and water. How do you like that? They recruit him and they're like, go pack.
Yeah, exactly.
He walks away and Hurley asks him where he's going. And Desmond replies, we need one more. Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh. And who is it?
Just a minute later, Desmond is sitting with Charlie, who says, how daft do you think I am? This isn't a camping trip. You've had another one of your visions, haven't you? What was it this time? So Desmond kind of casually or suspiciously leaves out the part about the crossbow in his neck and tells Charlie that someone is coming to the island. And Charlie wants to know how, but Desmond says he can't tell him. Charlie wonders if this has anything to do with him dying, which I think is a reasonable question. Yes. Desmond sees a flash of the arrow in Charlie's neck, and he says, well, that's not going to happen. Not this time.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie wants to bring his guitar.
I don't know why. Just
I really thought, Ben, you would want to bitch about this.
No, I mean, at this point, that guitar is dead to me. There's no way that thing is like anywhere
Usable.
near functional at this point. So yeah, go ahead, take it. I want to use it for
Not exactly climate controlled there on the beach.
Exactly.
Good salt air.
Okay, so you think it doesn't even work.
If he had a guitar made of graphite, he wouldn't have to worry about that. He would need a steady supply of strings. But yeah, even the Ovation guitar that he's got, it's a lot of wood on that thing, and it's a wooden neck, and yeah, that's gonna be fucked up real quick. Is that what you wanted? You want me to go on about his guitar not surviving the elements?
Yeah, I just want to say, I was pointed out, I thought you'd have something to say, and you said you didn't, and then you said it. So
I know, isn't that weird?
I have nothing to say, but I'll say it anyway.
that's how that works, I guess.
Yeah.
So Desmond is like, yeah, bring your fucking guitar, whatever. And so Charlie says, all right, I'm in. You had me worried there for a second. Oh, no. The four of them, spoiler alert, this is definitely the best scene.
This
The
is
four of
fucking
them are
hilarious.
now walking down the beach. Everyone besides Desmond is happily whistling like they're the fucking seven dwarves going to work.
Yep.
They come upon the spot and Hurley stops them. Jin wiggles his foot and finds the wire, and Hurley yells, "Way to go, dude!" And Desmond sees a flash of Hurley repeating the phrase, and then flashes of a red light in the dark sky, and then some inaudible words from Hurley. So Hurley then warns them that the last time he followed this path, he nearly got kebabbed by one of Danielle's spiky death trap things. So Desmond sees a flash of Charlie getting hit with the arrow and then another of a parachute falling from a tree. So in the flash, Desmond yells, "Cut her down!" Desmond decides they'll camp here tonight before heading into the jungle. And Jin very happily says, "Camp!"
Camp.
In English.
Camp.
I love Jin in this.
Yeah, he's actually really fucking great in this episode. So, okay, flashback number 2. Desmond and the monk stand labeling bottles of wine. The monk reminds Desmond that he is now free to speak again. I guess Desmond's like us. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. So he says, "Used to being quiet, I suppose." He looks at the label, which says Moriah Vineyards. Desmond tells the monk that he finds the choice of name interesting because Moriah is the mountain where Abraham was asked to kill Isaac.
Oh.
And he says, "That's not very festive." The monk replies, "And yet God spared Isaac."
God.
Yes. Desmond thinks that God shouldn't have asked Abraham to do that, which I agree with. But the monk says that wouldn't have been much of a test. Like, why do you have to? I don't know why any of it is
Have
necessary.
your subjects kill each other, or
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just as festive as Moria.
Moria, like the mines of Moria? Okay, so the monk says, perhaps you underestimate the value of sacrifice. I guess I do as well. I don't know. I think it's silly. But another monk enters the room and says that he's with a man who came to the gates to say he needs a word with Brother Desmond. The man looks at the monk and apologizes to him before punching Desmond in the face and then making the cross gesture like a Catholic would. The man leaves, and the monk turns his attention to Desmond, who, with a bloody face, says, "Forgive me, brother."
Yeah, because it's Desmond's fault that somebody just showed up and fucking clocked him.
right.
Well, I guess we find out later.
It
is, but, you know.
is.
He doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have control over what someone else does.
Exactly.
But there's certainly his behavior explains it, for sure. It's nighttime now, and Kate is at the camp eating some food. Jack shows up, and she tells him the oatmeal is awesome. She says it's strange being home, not having to look for a way to escape, and she doesn't really know what to do with herself. And Jack replies, "Well, enjoy it. I'm sure something will go wrong soon enough." Okay, Captain Optimism here. So Kate laughs and says she's getting dangerous tonight with some dishes in the ocean. Holy moly. He asks to borrow a spoon, so she licks it clean and hands it to him. Hello. So Jack walks away, and Kate grabs up the rest of her dishes. And then before she heads to the ocean, she notices that he made a beeline over to Juliet, and they are laughing and chatting and eating. Kate decides, fuck these dishes, and heads straight to Sawyer's tent for an angry, jealous fuck. She bursts in and gets on top of him, and he's complaining about her not using the doorbell.
Well, he didn't use the doorbell.
What? Yeah, exactly. That's another good point. So she tells him to shut up and don't talk, and she kisses him. He notices she's crying. This is intense. And she's like, "I said shut up." Sawyer comes to his fucking senses and replies, "You got it." Lifts her up.
Most of the indoor scenes on the beach are pretty intense.
Hey, that was a pun. They're intense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
I got
they're
it.
inside.
Not lean-tos.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
It was, see, sometimes, like I was saying, sometimes you just got to let the joke bomb,
Yeah.
like that one did.
Okay. Sawyer lifts her up. It's very hot. They continue kissing, and Kate starts unzipping her pants.
Mm-hmm.
Super hotness is happening. So Desmond, Charlie, Hurley, and Jen are all at the cable. The other one, not the one being laid in Kate right now.
Yikes.
Jin is holding the flashlight under his chin, and he's speaking Korean, and it's like so obvious that he's telling a ghost story.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's actually
so
kind
great.
of terrifying when you don't know what the language is. It's like, whoa, it's actually, those are
But
weird
you
sounds.
still feel the tension at the right points just from the way that he's like speaking. And yeah, it's pretty good. So he gets to the end and he like shouts loudly and Hurley screams and they all laugh and it's like really great.
Camp.
What did you say? Camp?
He said camp.
Camp.
Yeah, exactly. Camp is fun. So Desmond is like a little bit away. He's not laughing or paying attention. He's looking at the photograph. So Jin wants Hurley to tell like his own ghost story now. And so the camera starts kind of panning over toward Desmond. And Hurley's like, have you heard the one about the chupacabra? And Jin says,
what?
chupa? Like a question. And Hurley's like, yeah, like a bear with spines, but Mexican.
I like how one of them was like, I like the part about the bird. It was a bird, right?
So their conversation becomes inaudible. Focus switches to Charlie, and he's bringing Desmond a drink. He notices the photograph and says, that's not bad, Des. Not bad at all. So how did you manage to leave her behind and come here? Desmond says, because I'm a coward. So he tells Charlie that he tried to run away from her, but with enough money and determination, you can find anyone. He tells him, I used to wake up at night thinking if she actually meant it, that she never gave up, that maybe she's spent the last 3 years looking for me. They're sitting there, and suddenly, like, the sound of a helicopter blade can be heard cutting through the air. They all hear it, and Jin says, rescue!
Camp
Yep.
and rescue.
They all stare into the sky, and the sound changes from a hum to this kind of grinding metal sound. And Hurley says, is that how a helicopter's supposed to sound? No,
It's not.
it's not. In case you weren't clear.
Yeah.
So it changes to even worse, and then the copter like falters and crashes into the fucking sea. And Hurley wants to go out to the crash site, but Charlie's like, we don't have a boat. You can't
It's
just...
way out there.
It's way the fuck out there. So Jin sees something and says, look. He points toward the sea where a small red light flickers in the darkened sky and heads inland over the island. Desmond, recognizing the scene
at this point, I was hearing the music from Predator in my head.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's the fucking Predator falling over there, and they're about to fall in. They're all about to get hunted.
I couldn't recall the Predator like music like I can other movies.
I just remember the sound of it, you know, the
when you said
chittering
that.
noise or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
Right,
that
the kind of clicking.
Something like that.
All right. Desmond, recognizing the scene from his vision, stares and says, oh my God. The adventure group is gathered around trying to decide what to do next. Jin thinks it might be a pallet delivery, but Hurley says no way. Someone ejected from the helicopter. Charlie wants to know how he knows it was a person that ejected, and Hurley points to Desmond and says, because he said someone was coming.
You can't really eject from a helicopter.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out
because
how
you
you
go up through the blades,
Yeah.
and that would not.
No, you just have to bail out.
Exactly.
I think they said
If
that.
you can get
Jump
it
out.
steady, you'd have to jump out and hope to God it wasn't too unstable.
I don't know.
I
But
think
when
they-
I hear eject, I think
Think of like the
like
jets,
Top
right?
Gun, you know,
Yeah.
like popping out the top of a jet, and that would not work in a helicopter situation.
I think they say it in the episode too. One of them says it. I just didn't put it in the outline.
No.
But yeah, that they would have had to have jumped or whatever. So Charlie sees Desmond like packing a bag and asks where he's going. And Desmond is like, he's headed to wherever that beacon went. Charlie thinks it's stupid to traipse out into the jungle at night. And he says, were you even listening to Hurley when he mentioned Rousseau's death trap? Now it's going to be light in 2 hours. We'll wait until then. Desmond recipes.
Recipes.
Desmond recipes.
That one says Desmond recipes, but I'm pretty sure I think that it was
There's one
replied.
Desmond recipes. It's haggis, brother.
So he
Ew.
says, She can't wait. And Charlie repeats the word she, and Desmond quickly corrects himself to say they, whoever. Penny.
The royal
oops.
she.
Right. So Desmond wants all four of them to go out there right now. And Charlie is like, it's not happening. I'm definitely not going. And so Desmond sees flashes of the photo on the pier and Charlie stepping on Russo's trap, the arrow piercing his neck, a flight crew gas mask, and a pilot falling from the trees. Desmond pauses and says, we'll leave at first light then, together. Charlie says, terrific. Oh my God. So like he couldn't change anything. Like he was trying to, like if Charlie wouldn't go.
Because it was daylight anyways in his
Right,
flashback or whatever, flash forwards.
So flashback number 3. Desmond knocks on a door in a suburban street, and the man who punched him in the monastery opens it. And Desmond's like, is your sister in? The guy tells him to leave, and the woman behind him says, let him be, Derek. What? Derek leaves, and Desmond says, hello, Ruth. Inside the house, Ruth. Booth.
Yeah.
Booth,
yeah.
What?
Ruth and Booth.
So inside the house now, Ruth and Desmond are having tea, and she says, so you're a monk now, are ya? Oh, my God. He starts to answer her when she interrupts to ask why he's there, and he says that now that his initiation is done, he owes her an explanation. Now that
Imagine
it's
her brother
done,
in the other room just going, no, he's not a monk. He's a phony.
Oh, my God. So she says, like, he can never explain disappearing completely a week before their wedding. Like, hello. And he tries to bullshit her with, I had a calling. Like, oh, my God. She smells the bullshit. So he just confesses, basically. Like, he says he got drunk, blacked out, was rescued by a monk. And that's when he knew he had to sacrifice it all for the greater calling. Ruth is, like, still not impressed. She's just like, come the fuck on. She says, well, it's a good thing a bloody shepherd didn't help you up, or I suppose you'd be off with the sheep, wouldn't you? Next time you want to break up with someone, Des, don't join a monastery. Just tell the girl you're too bloody scared. Oh, my God. On the island at Original Beach, Juliet is working on her tent structure with Jack, and Jack is impressed and says, you're a doctor or a carpenter? Oh, my God. Cheesy. That's a cheesy, like,
Yeah, that was dumb.
Okay. Thank you. Juliet says something about Jack's dad never teaching him to use a hammer, and Jack brings the mood down by saying, my dad taught me to drink.
Ugh.
Okay. Sawyer barges into their space and asks if they're arguing over who their favorite other is.
That was awesome.
Oh my gosh. And, annoyed, Jack wants to know like what he wants, and Sawyer tells him there have been some developments since he went AWOL. And then he holds up ping pong paddles and says, how's your backhand?
Aww.
I love this. He wants to play
Bonding.
with Jack. It's nice. All right. So scene changes to a bit later when Jack and Sawyer are playing ping pong, and Sawyer tells Jack the table fell out of the purple sky when the hatch went blammo. And he says, we don't play every 800...
Every 108 minutes.
108 minutes.
We don't play every 108 minutes. The island's going to explode.
I love that.
It. Yeah. So Sawyer wins the point and celebrates beating Jack at something, anything. And Jack says, he tries to take it away from him a little bit, says he hasn't played since he was 12, and counts Sawyer's point as the 18th. Sawyer asks, it's kind of strange, huh, being back? And Jack laughs. Jack laughs because that's the same thing Kate said in the kitchen last night.
What?
They continue with the game, and Sawyer asks if they ate together, but Jack says he was with Juliet. Sawyer doesn't respond, but his face says he knows he got laid over whatever.
Yeah, be like, eat dinner with her every night, buddy.
Yeah. So Sawyer wins the point and the game. Jack asks for best 2 out of 3, and they keep playing. So inland, Desmond is leading Charlie, Hurley, and Jen through the jungle. Charlie wants to know what's next after Desmond saw the beacon, and Desmond says there is no next. They find it. Charlie thinks he's lying, and Desmond says, look, mate, I've saved your life 3 times now. If that hasn't bought me your trust, I don't know what will. Let's move.
He's kind of got a point.
Yep.
He does, but I wonder, Desmond or anybody else who didn't remember what happened at this point, did you think that Desmond was willing to sacrifice Charlie to reunite with Penny? Did you think he would let it happen? Or did you think that he would somehow change it? Derek, where was your head?
I didn't think he was going to sacrifice Charlie, no.
No. Okay. Either of the other 2 of you?
No. I mean, I have the same thing. I don't feel any genuine fear for Charlie at this point.
Nope.
Yeah. I remember thinking the same thing the first time I saw it. I was like, there's no way Desmond is going to let him die, right? Or I certainly hoped that was the case, I guess I should say.
Well, because the parachutist is already there, so it's not going to change them being there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or maybe at the end of the episode, he's sitting in a room with Ben Linus, and Ben Linus is saying, okay, and then he's going to get shot in the throat. And you're going to say, I didn't know that was going to happen.
God. Wait, you think that there's no risk in saving Charlie? You don't think that it would change whether or not that was Penny?
Sure.
Well, it doesn't change that someone was there. That's why I corrected myself. I said maybe.
Right. But he thinks it's Penny.
Right.
Okay. We'll talk more about this in a little bit.
But I still don't think that Desmond would allow Charlie to get hit with the arrow.
I don't think so either.
Right. Okay.
He's ultimately decent.
Perfect. Gotcha. So they continue through the jungle, and Hurley says that he's going to have a coronary. Desmond says they need to make it before nightfall, just as Charlie sees a doll on the ground and picks it up.
Smart
he shows
move.
it to Jen. What?
Smart move, picking up a doll.
I know. That's
I
how they
figured
ended
that was
up
going
in
to be
nets.
a trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Little hula dancer.
He shows it to Jin, who says something in Korean, and Charlie understands somehow, like he's Stewie on Family Guy, and answers, it can't be Rousseau's. If it were Rousseau's, a massive rock would be flying at my head right now. Desmond sees something in the trees and says, don't move. And then he climbs up Hurley to pull down a bag. He dumps the contents to find a copy of Joseph Heller's Catch-22, but it's in Portuguese. Jim finds a walkie-talkie in the pile of stuff. Hurley grabs it and says it's actually a satellite phone. He tries, but it's dead. Charlie says, shocker. Desmond opens the book to find a copy of the photograph of him and Penny, the one that we are all used to. It's being used as a bookmark, and Desmond says, oh my God. Hurley notices the photo and that Desmond is in it, and he asks about the woman, and Charlie says, that be Penny. Back on Original Beach, Kate is washing the back of her neck with water from a trough, and Sawyer comes up and hands her a cassette.
It's so cute.
It's super cute. He says it's her mixtape, and she laughs and takes it and notices that it's the best of Phil Collins. Sawyer tells her not to be picky and also not to tell Bernard anything if he asks.
Plus, I'm going to say the best of Phil Collins is pretty good shit.
Goddamn right it is. Yeah, you couldn't turn the radio on in 1980s without hearing a Phil Collins song within like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she thanks him, and he asks her why she jumped him last night, and actually uses that word. That's such a late 90s thing, I feel like. But she doesn't answer, so he asked, was it because you saw the doc hanging out with Juliet? And she tries to tell him it wasn't like that. It definitely was.
Yep.
But he's not convinced. He tells her, you ain't got to use me, Freckles. All you got to do is ask.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I'm not above having sex with you to get back at Jack.
Absolutely
right.
not.
But you don't
as long
have
as he gets
to do
his dick wet.
Yep.
Whoa. It's hot.
No.
So inland, storm is rolling in as Team Adventure continues on. Charlie asked Desmond if he thinks it was Penny in the helicopter, and Desmond says that earlier he had hoped, but now he's certain. So Charlie wants to know why he didn't just tell him. He would have gone anyway, and Desmond says he didn't want anything to change, and Charlie accepts that agreeing if it leads to him to Penny, nothing should change. Oh my God.
It's setting us up to think that Desmond's going to allow
Right.
Charlie to get shot.
Yep.
Yeah. It just runs so counter to his character, though. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
he is just that, and that's why I say I don't really feel any fear for Charlie at this point.
Yep.
Okay. So none of us were really buying it.
No.
Okay. So Desmond gets a flash of the arrow piercing Charlie's neck. He mutters, right, just as thunder cracks and the sky opens up. Hurley says, thanks for the heads up about bringing an umbrella, dude.
You can see the future.
Flashback number 4. Desmond sits in the monastery drinking wine and singing, well, it's a grand old team to play for and it's a grand old team to see. And if you know your history, it's, which I'm guessing is a football song. What?
Probably Celtic FC.
That was a soccer song.
Yeah,
I think
that
so.
kind of football. So the monk enters and questions what the fuck Desmond is doing. He responds that he's getting pissed on their lovely wine. And the monk is like, bottle costs 100 quid and they've only bottled 108 cases this year.
108.
Desmond thinks that it's good they've sworn a vow of poverty and takes another drink. He tries to take it, but the monk like pushes it away and tells Desmond that like he is not cut out for this.
He says they also took a vow of charity, which is sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. Desmond tries to accept like his penance, but the monk just says nope and kicks him out entirely.
This guy's a phony.
Desmond's like, you can't. Oh my God. Desmond's like, you can't do that. He heard a calling, and the monk is like, I'm sure you did hear the call, but the abbey clearly isn't where you meant to end up. I have little doubt that God has different plans than you being a monk, Desmond. Bigger plans. Is that so? Desmond isn't convinced, so the monk adds, you've just spent too much time running away to realize what you might be running toward. As the monk leaves, Desmond asks him what he's supposed to do now. And the monk replies, whatever comes next.
Thanks. It's so helpful.
Back to Team Adventure in the Rain. Jin is speaking English to Hurley to ask who Penny is. And Hurley says she's a chick Desmond used to date who has now fallen from the sky, so they're going to save her so she can save them. Jin looks confused, and Hurley says, dude, even if I spoke Korean, it wouldn't make any sense. Desmond wants them to move faster and stop talking. Penny could be hurt. Hurley says, I'm moving as fast as I can. In case you haven't noticed, dude, I'm not exactly the Flash. Uh-oh.
Here we
Here
go.
we go.
Exactly. Charlie and Hurley start having a conversation about superheroes, and we know where it's headed. The scene from Desmond's Flash in the opening is playing out. Desmond sees the crossbow in the trees. Charlie says, no flying, no smashing. Any other restrictions I need to know about? Perhaps we should fit Superman with a pair of kryptonite ballet slippers. I'm going to stop you guys here and ask you, does anybody notice what happened here?
He said
Okay, so
slippers instead of...
Maybe
So
ballet
this is
slippers.
so this is the moment you know that something has changed
Right, 'cause he says
Desmond's
something
vision.
different, yeah.
Like
Because in the
handcuffs,
beginning, he said kryptonite and then he stepped on the wire. This time he said ballet slippers, which means something is different. Did you catch it that first time or did you just get it when I
No, I
said
didn't
that
catch
now?
I just got it when you said
Until you
it.
said
Yeah.
it,
Okay. All right, cool. So he steps on the wire, nearly picks up his foot, and then Desmond screams, Charlie, duck, and tackles him to the ground. So I think maybe what has changed is like he saw the thing and maybe he had made the decision to tackle him, and that's why something had changed like right then. Would that make sense?
Sure.
Like as soon as
Yeah.
as soon as Desmond changed his mind to be like, okay, I'm going to tackle him, that's the moment like that the future sort of changed,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
I
So
gotta
the arrow
say once
hits
again, that is a slow trap.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like, ching, all these things happening. It's like the ones in Goonies where it's like, okay, yeah, I guess what's going on here. My God, these are slow traps.
Or Mousetrap, the game
Yeah.
Yeah.
from our childhood. Yeah. So, anyways, he tackles him, and Arrow hits Charlie's guitar, and Hurley says, "Dude."
And Charlie's shitty guitar is smashed.
Finally.
Yeah. That's sad. It didn't
I'm a
work
bloody
anyways,
rock
according to
god.
Ben. Exactly. You all, everybody. We haven't done that in a while.
It's been a while,
You
yeah.
all, everybody.
I refuse.
Well, I am
I
happy
pass.
to say that we do get to see a little drive shaft in season 3.
More like suck shaft.
More like
Shaft.
okay. So they continue through the jungle and they decide to split up to be more effective. Hurley tries to pair up with Charlie, but Charlie wants to stay with Desmond, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, I totally don't
Yeah,
blame
yeah,
Charlie at all. He's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So once alone, Charlie points out that Desmond said the word duck and wants to know if he knew what was going to happen this entire time. Desmond admits, yes, that was true, which rightfully pisses Charlie off. He accuses Desmond of being willing to sacrifice him, and Desmond says that now that he's saved Charlie, things could change. He was supposed to let him die. He says, it's bloody pointless. I keep saving your life, and what good has it done? It's just going to keep happening again and again. Maybe that's the point, eh? Maybe it's a test. Like God testing Abraham, except I failed because I changed what I saw. Jin shouts in Korean, and they run over. There's the parachutist stuck in the trees. They're yelling, but the person isn't moving, and Desmond is screaming, I'm sorry, Penny, I'm sorry. That brings us to flashback number 5. The best fucking flashback ever. Desmond enters the monk's office holding the clothes he was given, I guess returning them now that he's been fired. Monk says he was afraid that Desmond had left without saying goodbye, but Desmond turns to, leave, and the monk says, if he doesn't mind some heavy lifting, Brother Martin could take him to town in a few hours.
Did anyone notice the picture on the
Yes.
monk's desk?
Yeah.
Yes. That's one of my questions at the end.
What
The
picture?
creepy time travel lady
Creepy
whose
time
name
travel lady was.
has not been revealed was in a picture on the monk's desk.
Yes.
I will have to watch that scene again.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where you look at it, you're like, oh, they took 2 pictures of them that were not anywhere in the same light, and they sort of matted them together. It's pretty ridiculous.
So a few hours later, Desmond is wheeling cases of wine to a car while the monk chats with the purchaser. He says all 10 cases are ready to go. Desmond there is just getting the last one. And Penny replies,
Dun, dun, dun.
thank you. And my father sent the check in advance. The monk thanks Penny for her father's donation and leaves, stopping to shake Desmond's hand as he goes. Desmond carries some of the crates to the back of Penny's car, and when he sees her, he is construck, as Ben would say, I think. No, he is in awe and in love. She says, if it doesn't...
Yeah, exactly.
He's
She's
in
a
love
dirty
with the
girl.
next
She's a
line.
dirty girl.
She says if it doesn't fit in the back, he can put some in the front. Oh, God.
Afternoon delight.
So the scene begins to overlap with Desmond climbing the tree to release the parachutist, which is a weird word. Past Desmond tells Penny to drive safely because the cases are limited due to the lazy monks. She wonders how she knows so much about monks, and he tells her that he was one, but he just got fired.
Yeah, fired being a monk.
She laughs, and he tells her it wasn't actually that funny, but still laughing a bit, she says she didn't know monks could get fired. And Desmond says, oh, they can. I was told under no uncertain terms that the Abbey wasn't where I was meant to end up. It's just
When they say sacked over there, I think they say sacked instead of fired in England.
Or they say made redundant.
Oh,
No,
haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
that's a fancy way of saying you're fired.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you know where I learned that from? Was Kinky Boots, the movie Kinky Boots.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The guy talks about being made redundant, and that was when I learned that was an expression. Great movie, by the way. So anyways, he says, God allegedly has bigger plans for me. We see on the island, he cuts the parachutist free. In the flashback, Penny says, well, maybe they're right. I mean, just think, If you hadn't gotten fired, we wouldn't have met. And then how could you possibly help me unload these crates in Carlisle?
Oh.
Damn, girl.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't cut the
Damn.
parachutist free. He cut the parachute free.
You're right. Excuse me. But damn, Penny, did you see how smooth?
Oh
she
yeah,
is?
she's like, oh, okay.
She's smooth.
Give me some fired monk action.
She's working fast. She's bold. I like it. Oh, this is hot. I mean, this is sweet. This is very actually sweet. And the scene kind of makes me emotional and almost like cry. I'm just joking that it's hot. It's also sort of hot. On the island, Charlie, Hurley, and Jin spread that parachute out to catch the person in the tree. And then in the flashback, Desmond jokes he doesn't normally get into cars with strangers. So she introduces herself as Penelope. Penny.
Your name is Penelope Penny?
Yeah, Penelope Penny. That's
Of the penny fortune? Penelope
Yeah.
Penny?
My name is Penelope Nickelpenny, you know. God.
He says, Desmond, very nice to meet you, Penny. They smile and laugh a little, and it is so sweet and beautiful, and I cry.
It's very cute.
Fully back to the present now, and the parachutist shows signs of life. Hurley,
Lels.
It's actually spelled Hooley here. That's funny.
That's what happened. I
Yeah.
wrote Hooley, and I managed to
Julios.
pronounce
Hooley.
Hurley. I managed to pronounce Hurley correctly, but then tried to say Luli or Yuli or I don't know what the fuck.
Lels.
Julio,
Hang
she's
on.
alive.
Fully back to the present now, and the person who fell from the tree is showing signs of life. Hurley yells, she's alive! And Desmond rushes towards them and says, stand back! Get away from her! I'm here, Penny! He reaches her to pull off the helmet and reveals a woman who is definitely fucking not Penny.
Not even close.
What the hell?
Yeah, Derek, you were surprised?
Yes.
Did you
Yes,
still
I
think
was.
it was Penny even after like something had changed and Charlie was saved? You didn't think, uh-oh, it's not going to be her now? You were still convinced?
I was still hoping it'd be Penny, but I was
Okay.
thinking, well, maybe it can't be because, things have changed.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, was obviously hoping for Penny too. But then the woman says, Desmond,
What?
just before closing her eyes and passing out. Lost title screen. End of episode.
I mean, she had his
Whoa.
picture in the book, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess it's not as shocking as I made it out to be.
But still.
It's not shocking that Penny is a rich woman, so she has people doing some of this work with, she's delegating. She can't do everything.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
that obviously makes sense. Yeah.
Well, and the guys that were in that station that were like looking for a magnetic anomaly, they were Portuguese too, I believe.
Yes.
That's
Or
right.
they were speaking Portuguese.
They were speaking Portuguese, so yeah.
At the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then the Catch-22, obviously written in Portuguese. So.
This weekend's fun facts could be obvious. It is Catch-22, the novel. The name of the episode borrows from. The expression, basically, which is used, in just regular old conversation, means a problematic situation for which the only solution is denied by a circumstance inherent in the problem. In other words, it's an impossible situation because you can't do one thing until you do another, but you can't do that other thing until you do the first. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the expression comes from a satirical novel. It's by the American writer Joseph Heller. It is pictured in the episode. It was published in 1961 And it's about a man named John Yossarian, who is an American bombardier stationed in the Mediterranean islands during World War II. He is like desperate to stay alive, and he kind of interprets this entire war as like a personal attack against him. It's funny. It's a funny novel, or it's supposed to be. And so he's also like becomes convinced that the military is deliberately trying to cause his death, basically. And he spends much of the book concocting ever more like inventive ways of escaping his missions. In the course of the novel, he sees like his friends die, they disappear, his squadron gets bombed by its own mess officer. The whole novel is hilarious. Has anybody read this?
No.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So colonels and generals like volunteer their men for the most perilous battles, and they do that to like enhance their reputations. So this guy is looking for a way out. And what happens is a Catch-22. So imagine a flow chart, okay? And your first rectangle inside the flow chart, it says, "Are you concerned for your own safety in flying these missions?" This is the flow chart. Well, this is a flow chart that is giving a test for people in the military to see whether or not basically they're sane enough to fly missions, basically. So he wants to say he's not and find a way out of the army. So the first question in the flow chart, are you concerned for your own safety in flying these missions? If you say yes, it points to a box that says, this is rational, so you cannot be exempted on grounds of insanity. Points to another box that says, continue flying missions. If your answer to the question is no, it points directly to continue flying missions. So according to the Army, there's no possible way for you to ever be insane. Get it?
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what this guy is facing in the book. And that is where the expression Catch-22 comes from. And that is why it was used in this episode, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Alongside works by Kurt Vonnegut and Thomas Pynchon, Catch-22 kind of opened the floodgates for a wave of American fiction in which war was represented with a new counterculture point of view. Before that, it was often very much glorified in literature. So the book initially met with mixed reviews, but with the advent of American involvement in the Vietnam War, the book became increasingly popular, eventually gaining the status of a classic. There is a 1970s film version directed by Mike Nichols. It stars Alan Arkin as the lead Yossarian. What do you think? Does it make sense, the title and the book to be in this episode, considering what happened to Desmond?
Sure.
Yeah.
Should have been episode 22, though.
Yeah.
I honestly just can't see Penny getting on a helicopter to the South Pacific.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
And
I
it must have
agree.
launched off a ship because they don't have that much of a range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember when I first watched it that I really wanted it to be Penny, but I think I also had that thought, like, why would she jump onto an island? Like, that's not safe. I guess it jumped because it was going to crash. I guess that's more like, why was she flying a helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose someone else could have been doing it, and that's why she could jump out while they went down with it. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, I understand what you mean by that. Okay. Shall we do some best and worst moments?
Yep.
Sure.
Christy, go ahead.
Jin's ghost story was one of the
Ooh.
best moments.
Yeah,
That was funny.
you're right.
I also love the beginning where Hurley's like, did you eat those mushrooms that Jack warned us about? And then he was like, this is future crap, isn't it? Worst moment, Kate fucking Sawyer to get back at Jack.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
that's not nice, is it?
No.
I had two best moments with the whole scene where Desmond and Penny meet. It's just beautiful and gorgeous and touching, and they're so sweet, and I love every bit of it. And then the whistling while they walk. I mean, that was amazing. Come on.
Yeah, I
worst
found
moment-
myself whistling along with them.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Worst moment, look on Kate's face when she sees Jack and Juliet, and then in conjunction with that, the look on Sawyer's face when he realizes that was why she was with him. Yeah. Ben, how about you?
Whistling on the beach, the Jin ghost story, and then the whole scene where Desmond and Penny meet at the Abbey. Those were all good moments. Least favorite was Kate with her like lame flirting with Jack, licking the spoon and all that. It was just painful to watch. And then the scene that just made my stomach turn the most was when what's his name? Desmond was trying to like explain to his ex-girlfriend, how about having found a calling and all that type of stuff. And she just straight up was like, dude, just tell the girl you're too scared. That whole scene of him sort of winding himself around the axle was kind of painful to watch.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see a lot of scenes that we don't like Desmond in. But that was
typically, yeah.
Yeah. Derek, what did you think?
Yeah, I liked the ghost story. In fact, I found a translation of what he said.
Oh, really?
Yep. And it said, what he said was, and the girl turned to the man who saved her and said, thank God, I was afraid you were the hook man. And the man looked at the girl with a smile and said, don't worry, little girl. My hook is still in your father's head.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice.
I like it.
And the other was the Desmond meeting Penny scene at the monastery. It was really nice.
It's a lot of dust.
And then the
in your
worst
eye.
moment was in my eye. Yeah, a little dust floating around my apartment again. Yeah.
Okay.
And the worst moment was the old revenge sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also a best moment. I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, the scene itself was.
Yeah, it was hot. I mean, it was definitely hot. And yeah, I think.
I did not think it was hot. She's crying.
Okay.
But she still tells him to shut up and go for it. So
yeah, for a second she cries. Right. Like there are hot moments as if you pull it out of context.
Pull it out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
Where's your context?
Where's your context to pull it out of? You're gross. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, if you just like view it as like them watching two hot people do hot things, it's hot. But yeah, in context, it gets kind of ooky. Ben, give us your best characters, your worst characters, and who you're going to fucking kill this week.
Best is Desmond. Second place, I've got Penny, and third place, I have Hurley. For worst, I've got Kate. And yeah, she's been bugging me these last couple episodes. That said, still kind of hot, so I'm gonna fuck her and sort of cancel out those points. But I've got no other worsts, and I've got no kill. This was just not a. I felt kind of tired after this episode, I think, so I didn't have a whole lot of energy for any of the shenanigans.
All right, I have Desmond as number one. Like he sacrificed. That being Penny to save Charlie. Hurley, I have second because he just makes me smile. He's funny. Like the last couple of episodes, he's just been like brilliant. Penny, I have in third. She's just perfect in that ending scene when they meet. Oh my gosh. Because that's how the episode basically ended. I mean, I understand she wasn't there. But with that scene, I was flying high, so I just like wasn't mad at anyone, so I didn't have a worse character. I am, however, going to kill Charles Widmore because I know that he is going to ruin that scene that I just loved so much and that budding relationship, and he's going to help to destroy it. And I am going to fuck Desmond and Penny while floating on the helicopter wreckage as the sun sets because I think it would be pretty. Or rises, depending on
a lot
which
of faith
direction.
in the buoyancy of that helicopter wreck.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's my fantasy, so we're not going to like drown in
might
it.
as well. Yeah, sure not. Surely not.
Derek, how about you?
This episode, my best was Desmond because he made the right decision to save Charlie, knowing that it might change the outcome of Penny arriving. My second was Hurley because I just liked his comic relief and dude and all of that.
Yes, he's so good.
Yeah, he made the camping more exciting. And then third is Charlie.
Okay,
Charlie because he didn't die and he wasn't as much of a pain in the ass.
How low is the bar for Charlie.
Seriously.
And then he makes it into the top 3 because he didn't die.
Like pitch a big fit about it either. I mean, he got mad, rightfully so, but he didn't like act like a baby. I didn't have any worse because there really wasn't anyone that was bad to me.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And I'm gonna fuck Penny, and I'm gonna kill like Lacy Charles Whitmore because I know what he's gonna do to fuck things up.
You had the same thought. Okay, Christy.
So Desmond was my number 1, but I don't know why I put Charlie as my second. It should have been Hurley and then Charlie.
Because he didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't die.
Yeah. So Desmond, Charlie, Hurley. On the bottom, I put Kate. I just really did not like the revenge sex.
Wow.
I'm going to fuck Penny and Desmond after we drink a bunch of that wine. And I am also going to kill Charles Whitmore because I know that he's a dick.
Exactly.
No, 3 people are killing somebody who's not in the episode.
Yep.
Seems a little fishy.
I can do whatever I want. It's nonsense.
He is related to Penny.
Yeah. He's related to the storyline. Randy Douchebag Nation gets killed whenever I want.
I put like the LAPD. I put things that are not even close to this episode.
Right.
So no, I don't begrudge you that.
I put the LAPD. You all stole it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You all killed the police. I fucked the police. I forgot.
Oh, you're right. That is what
That's
happened.
right.
Oh my God. We don't condone that. Okay. Kate has taken like a brutal beating, and she was up there like in the top 3 for so long, and she's just gotten a bunch of negative points lately. There's so many different people in the top. Ben, why don't you actually give us that information after 17 episodes? What's going on with the rankings?
Yeah, we have an exciting change. The top of the rankings are now a tie.
Whoa.
We have Sawyer and Hurley both at 99 points.
Whoa.
Oh, and you know what? Christy just said she meant to put him second instead of third, and had she done that, Hurley would be winning. Whoa.
Nah, that's okay. We'll see what happens next week.
Oh, this is exciting.
And second place, Juliet with 89 points. And I guess Desmond gets an honorary third since we had a tie for first with 75 points.
Whoa. He's not far behind.
The bottom of the barrel is Danny in first, Paolo in second, still at negative 90 and negative 80 points respectively. But we've got Nikki edged out of the bottom 3 with Charles Widmore, who now has negative 38 points.
By 1 point, it looks like. Whoa. This is dramatic.
For real.
Desmond's like and close behind. He's got his honorary third, but this was his episode, so like that. This was his chance to like kind of pull ahead. This is exciting. I can't believe they're tied. Ben, would you like to give us your final impressions too?
Yeah. I think this was an okay episode. It didn't really blow my skirt up in any way, shape, or form. I thought honestly, the whole like him joining a monastery thing just felt kind of contrite. I don't know. I didn't really like the backstory a whole lot. They were trying to be sort of clever with the Catch-22 thing, and they did an all right job with that. Like the idea of, whatever you do, changing the future. So, that was okay. There just wasn't really a whole lot of meat to this episode. So it was entertaining, but I think there's been far, far better episodes recently.
Yeah, I agree. I could kind of leave the whole monastery thing. I think with the Catch-22 and the sort of like decision bit of it, none of us for a second thought that he was actually going to let that happen to Charlie. And so I think that's a bit of a failure for the episode. Yeah. That it takes some of the suspense away from it, I guess.
I almost feel like they could have done it better if he had acted more indifferent in his dealings with Charlie. Like if it weren't, he seemed really emotionally invested in it the whole time, which immediately makes you think like, he's a decent dude, so he's not going to let this happen. So I felt like there was maybe a missed opportunity that the writers kind of missed there.
Right. I mean, I think overall it's not a bad episode. It's nothing that I hated. But it definitely, it certainly wasn't like Desmond's other episode this season.
Yeah,
obviously, Flashes Before Your Eyes is like in a whole other league. The episode where Desmond and Penny meet, though, I will cherish that forever. That is a huge like standout within the episode itself. Definitely, you know, I mean, it's a cool ending. It's unexpected, and then opens up a whole like, well, who the fuck is this, and what is going on now? So that's good. But again, it's like a moment at the end of the episode. Clearly, it feels like we're building to something. There's now like a helicopter doesn't do long range flight, so there's something nearby, and there's people there, and so that's exciting, I guess. Christy, what did you think?
I mean, I always love a Desmond episode, but I love that almost this whole episode was a side quest with this particular group. They all have such great chemistry with each other. So it was fun.
I'll give it that. Yeah. I did talk shit about it, but it was kind of a fun episode too.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. They went camping. Right. They told ghost stories, you know.
So hook still in your father's head.
There were a lot of, yes, exactly. There were a lot of fun moments. That's true. And that's fair assessment as well.
A shirt that has, or a show that has so many, you know, crazy, intense things going on in it. We need a little bit of fun every now and then. So I like that this was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's how I felt about the Shambhala, you know, in episode 10. That was like fun, even though all of it was ridiculous. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Derek, what did you think of episode 17? And did it leave you with any like new questions or anything like that?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode. You know, that the side quest was the highlight. That and, you know, Desmond meeting Penny. That was also nice. Yeah, the whole monastery thing was kind of like just something they must have put in there for filler. But my biggest questions are who fell out of the sky, and why is there a picture of the creepy time travel lady on the monk's desk?
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Those are great questions. They are not questions. Well, one is answered fairly quickly. Creepy time travel lady remains a mystery for a little bit longer. But next week, we're going to have some baby fever with Sun before another shocking ending. It's season 3, episode 18. It's called DOC. It's a Sun episode, and it's a Derek episode. And we will see you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Spacebear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook to interact with your hosts. Plus, follow Spacebear Media on YouTube to watch our episode pre-shows. You can also find us at Spacebear_media on Instagram and Twitter. Or come to our website, spacebearmedia.com.